Okay, we're live. Welcome back. This is Nate Millett from DigiEffects. Here on the last video of this series, the lava chamber development for Oasis Live. I'm starting a little bit different today. I'm actually on free sound, and we are in the process of. Let me go ahead and pause this so it's not so crazy. But we are in the process of finding some audio for our level here. We've been working on the last few days. I set up a few different traps. Got a flame trap. We got some saw blades. We got these spikes, and we got this lava monster, which then reveals this back room and all the goods. So, what we want to do is find some sound effects for Sully, for when this monster appears, when the wall lowers, and maybe some saw blades whooshing. So, I'm gonna create a little. Just gonna create a little folder here. I'm gonna call it sound effects, and this will all go into our build, so I don't have to name it too specifically or very specific to what we're doing. I just have to have a folder to drop stuff away from our build here. So I'm on free sound right now. There are a lot of ways you can collect audio when you're doing anything, but just like every other kind of asset or creative asset resource, you want to make sure you have the rights to use it in your project, whether it's commercially or private. Freesound.org stipulates right here, it's Creative Commons license. Usually, and this applies for a lot of wiki common and stuff like that, usually that means it's free to use, it's for the public, it's meant to be shared, and there's no limitations, but you always want to check on the specific sound that you're using. So the first thing I was searching for was some tomb sounds, and I don't want this to be too loud for anybody, so I'm going to make sure that we turn it down when we play this. It's pretty loud for me, but I don't think it's as loud when you record it. And so here's our tomb opening stone scrape kind of sound we're going for. And you can see this is a cool, I've never really seen an audio wave in that kind of spectrum before, but we can go ahead and download that. And we can look at the file size. It's a wave. If we were worried about optimizing something like this, we'd probably convert it to an MP3. But waves do have usually a better bit rate, or I should say a higher bit rate than what we usually want. So drop that in our sound effects right there. And we will just open this up and we'll view this. And I do want to rename this to something I know so I can search for it, but I think it's important for now we keep this number here so that we can come back and reference this in case we have to license it. So let's just go ahead and click on this, and just for the sake of really letting people know what it means to be Creative Commons, no problems here. So this is the whatever act, there's the no copyright. So here you go. This says that we're allowed to use this audio, there's no problems, and we can tweak it. It's all about the culture. It's like a lot of .orgs have that, so pretty cool stuff to the people that do that. Hats off. It's the opposite when you're streaming some fancy song on YouTube and then some big agency wants to just take all the money because they're greedy. I think it's funny how the world works, but not this guy. He's living large. So we have that. Let's just go here. Let's play some stuff. Pipes dragging probably isn't going to be. Oh, and this one you have to play them one at a time because they can play over each other. So it's something to think about. And I don't know how loud that is when I play, so if it's really loud, just know to level out your audio. Tomb breathing. So this actually would be cool background audio. It's going to make sure that it's not too sadistic, or, you want it to be boss level, but if it's a little bit too like horror movie, I don't know if that's really it, but I also know I have a limited number of downloads, so I only want to pick ones I really want here. Does it sound illegal or offensive? No, it doesn't. That did not offend me. It was just creepy. And it was spooky. I agree with those two comments. Let's just go through here. Indie bird pharaohs, kind of interesting. But we don't really want odd tracks. We want more sound effects in this point. So we have a water drop. Can't really hear that. Okay, so I find the best way to do this is to really just go for, like, search for the exact thing you're looking for, and you'll usually find, like, two minds usually think alike. So if you say like a swoosh for like the blades, you're usually gonna get somebody that knows what a swoosh is. Except for this person does not know what a swoosh is. So real audio really does play a part in production, whether it's movies, whether you watch, like, movie theater movies where you have surround sound, or just in a game. So that's alright. So these they're all swooshes, but I don't know if they're really. It's a little bit too fast and high pitch for us. No, that's not what we want. What about this one? That's kind of alright.
It's wolves.
That was been a swoosh. That was been a swoosh.
It's wolves.
What the heck is that? Oh man. No, look at the star rating. It's like, that's definitely either labeled wrong or it's a joke. Oh, it's funny. So you can see how it takes some time to really find the right. I mean, that's a pretty awesome swoosh, but that's not the kind of swoosh we want. I just want a regular old. We need something that's a little like a metal swoosh, like it's metal grinding. So this would be good if we, this is actually not a bad one, because it's almost like you have arrows shooting out if we ever were to use that. So I am going to download this one. It's not rated, but it might be, I don't know, it's been downloaded 500 times though. So that's a good one. We'll drop that in there. Go back, see what else we can find here. Maybe find a few more. Ooh, I do like this one a lot. It's got a little mysterious kind of mummy feel to it, right? Let's go ahead and take this one. We'll see what these. Oh, probably didn't get. I think people get mad on the format right here, right? It's an OGG, which is a web format. So it's OGG Vorbis. Those are usually fallbacks when you can't play an MP4 or an MP3 or something on the internet. But we can convert those. It's not that hard, but we'll just, for now, not use it. It's a little bit too sci-fi, though. This one might be alright. Never mind. So let's try adding a metal swoosh sound. See if that fixes it. Wire swoosh. Whoa. So this is actually really good. Even though it's a series, it does sound like something in a tomb. It just needs to be broken up, and we can do that. And I can show you guys that too. If you have Adobe Creative Cloud, Adobe is really the only tools you need to mess with audio. You don't have to get you don't have to have professional audio gear like Pro Tools or Logic, which are, if you're producing beats, you'd have those. But we can just break this up into something like an audio product or an Adobe product here. Alright, so I'm going to go through a few more and then I'm going to move on just to keep the pace of the video going here. So a lot of fun. If you're a sound guy, you probably would love this site. I did originally go to school for sound engineering when I first started my career, or just my interest in the world of media. And then I realized that audio is only a part of what I enjoy. I enjoy kind of the overall production of bringing it all together, which is how I created DigiFX here. Okay, so these are all really great sound effects, but unfortunately they're all a little bit too intense for us. We need something a little bit I actually really like this one too. Even though it doesn't fit into the like being activated, it's a pretty good sound effect here. Okay, so here is something important to note though. Look at this. You can't use it commercially here. So you can't use it for commercial purposes. So unfortunately that doesn't help us, because we are going to eventually try to make money off of this game. So I'll keep it, but I will note here it's non-commercial, just for the sake of not accidentally using it eventually, right? So we can't really use that, and usually the higher you get up in people in the industry, they tend to expect more for their time because they do better stuff. So this Robinhood guy expects you to pay him, or expects you to buy his stuff. So it kind of defeats the purpose of free sound, but I guess it's still free sound. No offense to Robinhood, whoever you are. Metal swoosh. Okay. Okay, well, we got a few good ones that we can use, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. So let's just bring back the game real quick, and let's think about what else we need. So what about like a flamethrower, like a or a I'm not really good at making sound effects, but you know what I'm getting at. Flame. Let's just type in flamethrower through, see what comes up. Sure. Here we go. First one. That's right in the money. So that is, let's just check this out. Okay, so sometimes I'm a little bit confused about if I can use it or not. Alright, so license, blah 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 blah. Okay, so I don't think this is going to be an issue if we cut it up. We're just going to use this first chunk here, and this other chunk we're going to get rid of. We don't need all that, so we'll do that. And I probably should have checked these, but I'm just going to take a risk and assume they were okay. And if somebody comes after me, I'll give them the $5-10 they want for it. Flamethrower along here. So there's actually, surprisingly, a lot of really good flamethrower sound effects here. But a lot of this is really if you are in doing high-end, like, I mean, you definitely have stuff like this in video games. For instance, this one I could use in a fire. even though it's burning. We'll just go ahead and save that real quick. Let's move on. So next, we want spike trap. So I'm gonna actually search the word trap here. Sometimes you can just find exactly what you're looking for. Look at this one. That's pretty much on the money, is it not? I mean, that's better though, because this one is like you're actually impaling. It's actually like you're impaling somebody, which is not very child friendly. Yeah, I think this is probably better for us. Okay, so that is okay. So we can use that one, not a problem. It's good to always check, I guess. Ooh, yeah, so here we go. So this is where I have to think about how I'm gonna download some more here. You do get a daily limit here, but I do have a few different accounts with them, so I will use my other account to try to get a few more. Not to cheat the system, but to get what I need here. So let's just think about, I mean, we have enough sounds, but I do want a boss level, like a boss NPC. Let's see if it comes up, or danger. I almost want like evil laugh kind of thing, like wah ah ah. It's not evil. That's so stupid. That was not evil at all. No, this is evil. It's just crazy. Man, I mean, you could probably just start a whole channel off of just listening to sound effects and reacting to them. I'm sure people would watch it. None of this is. It needs to be. We're looking for a deep, like a deep evil laugh. None of these high pitched like evil clown ones. We want like That's better. This one's actually not bad. But let's keep on searching. It's a little bit too sadistic, and it's a little bit. Yeah, this stuff's a little bit too. This one's good. I like this one a lot. Okay, so I guess I can download. So I guess that was just a suggestion to donate. Which I'll tell you what, when I make some money, if I make some money off of what I'm doing, I will happily donate to Free Sound. I'll contact the site owner, and I will give them a piece of the pie, so to speak, for what they do. Demonic laughing. Whoa! Oh man. So this is good. This one's pretty good for a fired guy. But again, it's an OGG. But we'll download it just to show you what it's like to convert it. I'm sure there's people that want to know that. I'm pretty sure Adobe supports that. But if not, you can always Google like OGG converter, and there's always some web tool over there where they'll email it to you when it's done converting on some server somewhere. Okay, so we did that. What else do we need? We need we do need a tomb ambiance, right? So we want to say a tomb ambiance. I don't know if I spelled that wrong. You clearly did, because nothing came up. Ambiance. How do you spell it? Oh, it's with an E, of course. Tomb ambiance. There we go. That's no good. People talking. We need just a background sounds, and 20 minutes is a little bit too long for us. We just need a couple of minutes. Maybe. Unfortunately, it's a little bit too production heavy, in the sense it's like a movie scene. We need something that's more of a background. So we'll say tomb background. Somebody will know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I commented on this one before. Sometimes you do have to listen to it and feel it out. So I think this would be good if you had it at a very low level, like just barely hearing it over like some other audio playing. And good sound engineering has layers and depths of different audio that come in, and so you would have, probably, if you're good at what you do, you would probably have more than one background audio layer in the background that come in. You would also do in Game Engine, you can also set up audio in certain areas, and I may consider doing that. That is a lot of extra effort up front, and so I may just stick to just putting audio in the back and having it come on and come off. But you can definitely, when you approach something, you can have it get louder, so that if you're listening in headphones, or you have surround sound or whatever you're using, it affects that. So we will grab this, and I'll show you guys how we're going to bring this to life in the level. And I guess I was going to say that I didn't want to do another stream just for audio, but I think if we make this an audio sequence, I think people will like that. So it's been up to 20 minutes, so I'll probably do another hour stream here, and I'll spend another 10 minutes, and then we'll do it in half an hour putting it into the game, and we'll cut it off from there, just to keep these at about an hour's length. I know that's pretty long for anybody, so attention span, just watching YouTube videos, but this is development, so it takes a lot of time. You can't just speed stuff up, and it's a different kind of individual, I think, that's interested in this stuff. Maybe somebody trying to create their own games, maybe somebody learning, maybe just another guy like me that started as a hobby and they try to turn it into something more. But yeah. So I'm pretty satisfied with the amount of stuff we've grabbed here just for this audio, this level. But let's just explore a little bit and think about what else we can do here. So just for overall, like for items, there's a whole, like every time you pick up items or use items, there's a whole bunch of sounds that are created. Like if you eat, for instance, one of these passion fruits right here, which is an item you can pick up, that will have a special sound. It'll have give off, like, there's a lot of stuff we're going to build into all the items here, but I'm specifically focusing on the tomb sounds, not the item sounds of the inventory itself. That will be down the road a whole different thing that we'll take care of and control here. So we have the wall lowering. I almost want to have, like, when you get close to, let's just stop this real quick And let's think about this. So when you get close to this guy right here, this one right here, I want it to almost have like it's glowing, like an aura sound, to really entice, like open-eyed, like like if you ever seen the movie Aladdin, and when Abu, the little monkey, sees the golden, he sees the red ruby, his eyes light up, and there's like this aura sound there. So let's just type in aura and see what comes up here. That's no good. It's no good.
One!
That is definitely that's a negative. That's not good at all. Who yells one? Oh man. I guess that's why it's free. And sometimes you come across stuff that you weren't looking for, but it kind of fits the feel, right? So this guy is obviously very humble, right? This is an awesome audio, but then he says he's not entirely happy. As in, that's somebody that's always trying to improve his work, somebody that's always trying to raise the bar, and that's the kind of person we want to get involved with the work we do here. This is I think this is great. I think this is really great. Toilet roll tube. Funny name. I never really understood people's usernames where they just use random things. So this is definitely going to be added. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to use it here, but I like it a lot. It's very good. So we'll probably spend a few more minutes collecting some assets, some sounds for this. We'll let that download. That's relatively long. I will say another issue you come across when you're adding audio is that it does take a big chunk of space, just like textures do. So although this is good and it's at 53 megabytes, that's a pretty costly file to put in there. So we'll have to crunch it down, maybe make it an MP3, maybe shorten it up, maybe loop it at a shorter speed to where it's not taking up all that space. So we'll move on though. Still haven't found my aura. And maybe sometimes it just makes sense to type in gem. And there's like a gem sound somebody did. That's gem collection. So maybe I'll say gem aura, right? And then, no, there's nothing there. Jewel aura. I doubt it, so let's just say jewel. Yeah, see, these are like literally, unfortunately, sounds of jewels being moved around now. I think aura is probably better for us. You just have to find the right one. You have to find the one that really emphasizes it. I want to say I like this, but I don't really feel like it's an aura sound, though. That's the problem. It sounds... That's definitely obnoxious. This is good. This is great. I could use this 100 places. So, yeah, you're definitely reminding me, your happy smile face, that I'm abusing my privileges here. So, I get it. I get it, guys. I get it. I don't just want to donate like a couple bucks. I actually would want to give these guys like a decent amount of chunk to change their life, though. You know, if somebody does this for free and they work full time and this is their hobby, like making this, or you know, give them a couple bucks. I know it all adds up, but I think they'd appreciate, you know, if you really used all these sounds and you made some money off something. I think they'd appreciate a big chunk. How big? That's a different story. Well, you know, everybody has different expectations of what a lot of money is, I guess. Even earlier when the custodian was in here, and he was like, and the amount of stuff I'm cramming in this small little space. But you know, low overhead when you have a small space is really maximizing the potential, building up, not out. It's a classic case of living in the city. And just between me and whoever watches this, I've seen a lot of people come and go in these shared workspace because they get these huge offices with all these desks, and they have to drop, like, you know, big chunk of change on it. And I've been in this office for, I don't know, years, a long time. And it's just because I have a little space. I work remote. I'm getting some more space other places, slowly growing, but it's worked out. Okay, so I'm thinking once you kill the guy, we can have like a treasure room. So let's just say treasure. Maybe that's a better word to put in here. I know I said I was going to stop in a few minutes, but I do want to find some kind of treasure eyes. Ooh. Oh, that's not as I was hoping it would be a lot better than that. So sometimes you definitely don't get what you expect you're going to get in these. Like, sometimes they're very literal. Sometimes they have nothing to do with what they're named. Sometimes they're like a very game-centric coin sound. So you do have to spend a lot of time in the audio department trying to find what you're looking for here. Which is why I would limit what I'm actually searching for on the live stream right now, just because eventually people will get bored with it. But I'm hoping treasure room. Yeah, I don't even know why. Oh, it's because the word treasure was up here. National. That's not what I wanted. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and start adding the audio with what we have here. I think we have a lot of good stuff, and I don't think we're gonna find anything in the next couple of minutes that really matters. And I'll just go ahead and take this out because we're not going to use that one. And here I'm going to just name this the lava chamber, so we know when we import it that it is for the lava chamber sounds here. And I do need to organize a lot of the other stuff to where it's sorted, but something we'll do eventually. And I'll just hold on to this guy, put it over here for now, off screen. And I will go into my assets here, and I'll go to alpha, I'll go to audio section, and I think for the sake of just keeping this orderly, I will just add another folder real quick, create a new folder and say other, and I'll drop everything in the other so we can see more. Right. Okay, and except for the extra sounds, which I'm not sure what those are. Come on, baby. Don't fail me now, MacBook. It's only froze up on me once when I've been streaming. And it was just like a weird, I don't know why I did it. It was weird. So we got some dragon sounds. I haven't shown you guys any of the the dragon stuff yet, but it's only because there's an overflow right now of that type of stuff in the game market, and so I'm really trying to focus on the stuff that hasn't happened yet. We do have a dragon level in Oasis. It's one of the bosses, I'll tell you that. Just like this, and it's in a different level somewhere else. And you have to take them down to get a prize. Okay, so we have our, oops, I forgot to import that. So you can either right click and import, but like anything, it's just easier to drop it in here. And then it will do its business. And I think the only other thing we have to do, which I'll show you real quick, is I will open Adobe. So you can just use Audition here. I know that's a lot of these audio guys can be like, that's lame sauce, Nate. Like you can even just use. There's even open source audio that's better. But Audition's pretty good. I like using Audition. I'm very pro Adobe in general in terms of production. I've used Final Cut Pro. I've used what's the other one? Avid in the past. But what I like about Adobe is the uniform. They are a beast. They are a giant. People complain about how they're just, they're a giant. There's so much other stuff out there, which is true. But I remember being a kid first moving out to the West Coast and going to an Adobe fair where they were showing off Adobe Acrobat for the first time. And the big deal was PDFs. And I'm sure there's somebody out there that's going to be like, yeah, I remember that in San Francisco, 1992 or whatever. And it was the coolest thing, man. It was the X Games and Adobe Fair, like, next to each other. And I don't know if anybody remembers the X Games. I think they still exist. I have no idea. I have not seen them in a while, but they must still exist. I mean, they were awesome, right? It's just like all the sports I really did, like the board sports, snowboard, like the stuff that wasn't traditional sports they did. And there was an Adobe Fair, and you'd walk around, and they would it was when Adobe was first, before a lot of the other stuff was around. But that's why I'm pro Adobe. As a child, they influenced me, and someday hopefully maybe I can do stuff with them, or for them, or collaborate along with everybody else. But for now, sticking to my guns. I know. And so what we want to do here is we're going to have Audition open up here, and it looks like it's over here on this side, so I will just bring it to the screen, and I will just make a new screen for us here so we can drop it in there. And we will go ahead and just drop the audio we want in there. Now I know I already imported it, so I should have actually done this before I imported it, but I wasn't really too concerned about that here. So we can go in our flamethrower. Let's make sure this is the right one. So Audacity is the other audio program. I forgot for a second what it was. I'll show you that. This is a if you don't have Adobe, you can use Audacity here. This is another open source program that people use all the time for a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to use it because I'm using Audition here, but another good program you can use. So we can just, pretty sure, just open it up this way. Okay, that's why this guy was coming here. And so now we have our audio track here. Let's make sure this. Okay, so I think we took 2 flamethrowers, did we not? I don't remember. Yeah, we did. So this is the one I actually want. Adobe. There you go. So we can just literally crunch this down here. We can tuck it in nice and tight. You always want to give a little bit of space for in case you do any after, like post-production. And then we can play this. Okay, so I do forget how. I thought if I crop that, I'm pretty sure I can just delete maybe it's if I go like this, I can delete that. Or I can remove it. Or I can cut it. Man, I always, whenever, the problem with using like hundreds of different programs is you kind of forget how to use them. Oh man, how do I do this? There's a way to cut it. Just forget where it is. Where's my toolbar right here? How do I slice this sucker? Skip selection. Usually there's like a... Come on, baby. How do I do it? I don't want the whole thing. I want to delete that. Alright. Come on. How do I... Where is it? Man. I guess I have to go to Adobe Learn, huh? Or Audition Learn. It's slacking. Well, we definitely selected the area we want, and then there's a way to pull it out, extract it. And maybe it's just a matter of just file exporting it like this. Let's just see if that does something here. File, export file. And here you can either like convert it in post, but for the sake of just keeping it small, I'll just say flamethrower, Oasis. I'm actually going to call it flame trap, very specific to what it's used for. Underscore trap. And I will browse that, and I'll change that just to the desktop. I'll just say that. The file Oasis blah 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 is we're okay with that. So, did that change what we wanted? No, unfortunately it didn't. It didn't crop it out, so. Oh, you know what? I know that's what it is. Duh. Silly me. So I can go like this. Boom. Right? And then now it's only playing the section we need. So that's how you do it. I was selecting here, but that's just how much you see. This is how you cut it out. So, I do know, I just forget. Okay, so let's just export file, and we'll go browse, open this up, say that, we will replace it, and say okay, yes, that's fine. And let's see if that changes it to something else. Didn't save over it. Let's try one more time. File, export, file, browse. Right. Oasis, flame, trap. Third time's the charm. Is it? What's third time the charm here? Third time's the charm. Okay, so that's 4 seconds long, and that actually, I think, aligns with the timing we need there. So we did get lucky there. We did get very lucky that our flame trap, if I go over here, and I bring this down, and we look at our flames, look at our specific flamethrower right here. Let me go, our playmaker. And we extend this so you can see more stuff here. And we'll just keep it here. Okay, so it's on for 4 seconds. Which is good. So, pretty simple now. And I think I'm actually going to start, I adding audio in here eventually. I need to start separating from the main stuff, but that's something I'll have to do down the road. So we will just add this flame trap MP3 into here, and we will use the Oasis flame trap for our traps here. So this is a very simple thing. Play sound or play audio, right? I think it is. Specific game object. This one, oh wait, no, it's not. Is it? I don't think it needs. I think it's just the. Is it play sound? Or is it audio play? Which one is it? Move that. Let's see if we put this in what happens. So I think it's just referring to what plays at this thing. So let's see if that works here. And position, I think, is if you want to make it be surround, 3D space. 3D sound is called. We don't care about that. So we should only hear it when it's on and not hear it when it's off. So let's try it. I did turn off all the audio. There was some audio in here, but I turned it off. Does it work? Oh, it works. Very cool. It works. Okay, well there you go. That's an example of how we can add audio in a very basic example, not using 3D space, just using the FSM to include that in the sequence. So I can literally just copy this this action here into the other flamethrower. Selected the action, bring it down here, get in there, add it there, paste it after, and then you should hear them double up at some point. Okay, so it does seem to be working as expected here. And I don't hear, I hear the servers in the background. But it actually is also affecting my left and right ears. I think it is. If I get... Yeah, it does... So it definitely gets louder on the ear that it is. So I'm guessing that's because our player's audio listener is using 3D sound too, which is cool. So there you have it. That's our first audio right there. So let's go ahead and just close it out. Let's save it up and move on to something else. Let's do something a little bit more ambiance related. So for the core managers, I usually will just put the audio. You can put the audio anywhere, really. It doesn't have to be specifically. One thing you don't want to put it on is something that you're going to delete or disable. It has to be something on that is always available. So I just usually use this as a way to do it. And these are just some other things. So we can literally... we're not using that here, and we're not using that. So I will just pan up to the first one right here, and I'll go into my lava chamber sounds here, and we will try to find that. Okay, so I'm guessing it's still streaming here. We had a crash real quick, so I'm trying to fix that for us. Yeah, it just crashed on me. So we will go ahead and continue where we left off here. See what got saved. But as you can see, there are some downsides to using a MacBook. It just sometimes it just can't handle all the stuff you're doing. And you know, the graphic, it was definitely a graphic thing. The screen just goes, everything crashes, it freezes. But it's all good. So it was interesting. YouTube kept on streaming, but then my my little, what do you call this OBS system stopped because it obviously turned off. So I wonder how that affects the stream if you just don't see the the crash to the not crash, but just fills the gaps for you. That'd be cool. That'd be pretty sweet. So you don't actually see my pain. Don't feel my pain here. So we'll give it a second, have Unity load up, and when Unity crashes, you'll notice how it saves the last state we were in. So although I was saving the scene, the way it's laid out, this screen right here, it thinks that it's cached. So you can lose a lot of work if you don't log out. Even if you save, if you don't close Unity and update the cache, you can use certain stuff, or you can delete the cache and maybe reload it. I don't necessarily know what the solution is. But at this point in my life, I try to always be careful about saving and make sure that I update frequently on the servers, the collaborate servers here that we have integrated. And this little thing right here that you're seeing is just the fact that we have to check for changes. Say if somebody else is doing some other work, and I'll maybe get into that at some other point. But the bigger the project, the longer it takes, and the more pain in the butt the crash is. So eventually eventually I'm gonna migrate this over to development over to the servers that we have this set up as. But for the sake of me being mobile and being able to broadcast wherever I am at that moment, I like the setup I have here. Everything fits in a backpack, minus the green screen, which is in like a circular tire size thing. It still folds down, but it won't fit in a backpack, which I was hoping it would be smaller, but at the end of the day, if it's too small, you get a lot of creases, and then you won't be able to key out as well. So you can't see the green screen, but it was $150. It wasn't the cheapest little foldable one, but it's a ProMaster, so better quality, and it has little Velcro, so you can obviously Velcro it many different ways to a metal frame. I have a bunch of stands and stuff through DigiFX that we use for lighting and green screens and amongst other things, jib cranes, but none of those at which I am frequently using. They're just available for when we get contracts. Excuse me. Long weekend. Working. Long weekend of working. Work. So we're almost done here. Hang in there. Hang in there, partner. My goal with these series of this one chamber, I don't expect somebody to watch 6 to 7 hours of Siri. That I was talking to Siri, but I don't expect somebody to watch hours and hours of this. But I do think eventually somebody trying to develop their own game may find this interesting at some point, and that is the reason why I do it. So let's see if it actually saved the audio in the flame. And luckily we didn't lose much. We just may have lost the audio, the flamethrower audio. which isn't a big deal here. And I think we still have it. I see a little audio source there. Yeah. So although it did crash, and although it didn't save the state of where the camera was, it does save the FSM there. And it really just depends on the component and how it caches stuff. And luckily, Playmaker seems to save when the game saves, like the level itself. So that's good. That's good to know. All right. So moving on, we were working on the background, right? So we can go here. Our audio. Our lava chamber, and we can just double click on these to listen to them. And this is playing in it's playing in iTunes by default on my Mac, but I'm sure if you you can change that. Okay, so this is the tomb breathing one, and we are going to use this one here. So we'll go in our core manager here, and I will just delete the tropical beach one here, and we will go in there and say, okay, which one's that? What is the 170549? This is top one. Okay, so you got to make sure you don't click and let go. Sometimes you have to go click and drag is what you got to do. Turn that on. And we may have to adjust the audio so it's not obnoxious here. And what was the other one that we had that was kind of fun here? And this is for the guy, evil laugh. Guess we just had this one, so that's enough for now. I'll just keep that, and we can add more later if we want. So go ahead and stop that. And I usually like to have like a little bit of music, a little bit of ambiance, and a few other things that enable in areas, and that usually seems to be enough audio to really build out the environment. And at the end of the day, we are trying to augment environments here. And a little spoiler, we're going to be releasing some Magic Leap AR stuff in a couple of weeks. We are developing on a Magic Leap headset, and it's going to be interesting to see how this works in there, in Magic Leap, in the AR. So I'm excited to share that when that happens, and that will definitely be something we go live and post on social media and try to get traction. And so with that being said, creating these environments and creating the sound effects and creating the visual effects and creating the gameplay is not just meant for a mobile phone. It's meant for any kind of AR extension and experiential aspects of the 3D that we're using. So something to keep in mind. Alright, so it looks like I've been streaming for about an hour, but since I crashed, I'll give another 5-10 minutes here. We will, I'll tell you what, we'll do one or two more, and I'm going to call it quits today. I'm not going to mess with any of this stuff. I'm going to go straight to the evil laugh here, and then we'll play it all together and see how it works. So we have our iTunes. Oh, it looks like Audition's trying to do something here. Oh, you know what? It's probably opening up because this is the that one weird extension, right? That is the OGG. Yeah. Okay, so let's not use that one. Let's try to use the one that isn't difficult to use. Evil laugh. Wah. It's good to know Audition can open it, because we can convert it right there. Yeah, we'll use this one for now. So, and this is the other one we had right here. I'll just play it. Oh wait, no, that's not it. I don't know where it is. Never mind. Didn't seem to open, so I'll just say no to all and cancel out. And we'll do the balloon head one, since that one we know will definitely just work. Although we do want to probably convert this. So for this guy, we have our Lava Boss. That's pretty good, right? Alright. This is where I don't want to screw stuff up. We got to figure out when he appears. And that's pretty much when the more than one here. No, I just have one here, so it's actually the gold statue trap is what happens here. Right? It's the anime mesh one. Yeah. So right here is where we want to add it. So we'll just say play sound. We're going to say play random sound. That would help us. And then we'll just say balloon head, evil laugh. So let's go ahead and play this and see if that works here. So we should have the flamethrower sounds, the evil laugh, and then the ambiance of the scene here. So we may have to adjust the ambiance or the background noise to see how it is affected. But overall, it should give a little bit of life to our scene here. And then we'll probably find also some like Toomey style production music. Yeah, that's way too loud already, I can tell you that. This audio needs to be very, very should be at 0.3. Yeah, so we'll just restart this real quick. It should be subtle. It should be like very, you know, like, if it's too loud, it's overwhelming and it's distracting. And so we want to make it like 0.2 probably. And if you were to turn on the 3D space right here, you could affect like the distance. But again, we're just going to leave it as is for now, and maybe change that up for some other stuff later. So that's better. It's still a little bit too loud, and I do have to like see what it sounds like on an audio device or a device or wearable headset. Depending on what I am using Bose headphones, which do help a lot with the audio. Okay, so why are you stuck now? What's going on with that? Up there, buddy. Whoosh! We'll have to put our swoosh in. So I will say the flamethrower should be 3D sound. You shouldn't hear them when you're way back here. That was pretty awesome. The only thing is, we need to have a second sound where it goes down, and then the laugh should be when he comes up. So it's a little bit too fast, and I actually think that it's backwards. So let's just do that real quick. Let's just take our where was it? That was in our gold statue anime mesh right here. It should actually be here, right, where it deletes itself. So we want another state. That's what we want, and we want this state to be a finish. And then we want this to go in here, and we want this to go in here, and then we want this to play here, and then I'll just copy select action. I'll paste that here. It doesn't matter where in this one. And this one will be the we have to figure out if this is the right length. If it plays too long, like the lowering the tomb door open thing, then we'll have to cut that off. And then we also want to make sure that this has a wait on it, because we don't want it just to go to the next state. So we'll just wait however long that takes. We'll say 2 seconds for now, right? And that should actually make it better. So let's try it one more time. So now we have a little lowering sound effect, and then the wah as it comes up. And yeah, the more I hear that laugh from that, the more I enjoy the guy that recorded that in his mic, because I sit here half the time going wah in my microphone. I'm gonna order my sushi soon. I'm gonna order sushi for home. Who likes sushi here? Whoosh. Whoosh. Alright, so yeah, that's a lot better. The only problem is that the rock sound effect it runs for twice as long as we want. So we'll probably have to edit that or maybe cut it out. I think an easy fix for that is I've seen this. I don't really usually use this, but I think and that background noise is still really distracting. I know I'm being annoying about talking about it, but it needs to be like a 0.1 or 0.05. It needs to be just very, very subtle, like very distant. And our gold statue animate. So one thing we can do is I think we can go in here and I might have to shorten it here. No, unfortunately, with this it's a little bit more limited. I thought there was a way you can turn it off, like have it stop playing when you go to the next one. But unfortunately, I don't think that's the case here. I think we're gonna have to adjust it outside of the game engine here. Okay, so this is a 0.5 meg, so that's not too bad of a size, I'm guessing. I don't really know, but you can also convert it and compress it, and there's ways to preload and load, as you see here. Normalize this, make sure it's not too overbearing. If it's recorded at a different level, normalize is always one of those things you just want to keep it usually as is. Ambisonic, I don't necessarily know what that means. I'm gonna actually Google that real quick. Ambisonic. Denoting or relating to high fidelity audio system that reproduces the direction and acoustic properties of recorded sound. Okay, so just so everybody knows, in case anybody else is wondering, Ambisonic is full sphere surrounding sound format and additional perhaps planes. So it looks like it just is affected by it's the waves, the way they travel. It's the way they bounce around. In audio, you have diffusion, like sound diffusion, and you have refraction, right? Sound refraction. There's all these things you do when you record professional audio. If you're recording a hot track, you don't want to be in a server room like I am in here. You want to be in a quiet room that's all the walls are padded with foam, and you want to have foam on the walls so it takes there's no echo. And so that probably has something to do with that stuff. But for us, we don't really care about that. So I want to fix that, but I don't really want to fix it. But you know what I've learned in life? That if you don't do what you need to do, it never gets done. Nobody does it. You can't be lazy because then nobody does it. You have to do it. That's what I've learned in life, people. So you want something done, you got to get it done yourself. Because there's been very little times in my life, and I haven't had the money to pay people like salaries, but it's been very little times in my life I'm able to count on people to get shit done. It's always been a favor when you ask them to do shit. Okay, so let's see. That's not the one we want. We wanted the Scraping Stones one. That's the one we want. Yeah, so this one should be. So, how long is this? This is in seconds, I'm assuming, right? That's about a second. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's about 7.5 seconds long. And how long does it take our thing to lower? We have to look at that real quick. So I'll just get rid of this. And I'll go in here. Don't crash on me. I'm gonna save just so it doesn't crash. Play animation, animate statue. So we'll just go in here and we'll find our animation and we'll click on that. That'll bring us to here. Okay, so it takes us 2.5 seconds. So we'll probably play it for, I mean, sometimes I'll give it a little extra, but in this case, I think it should be exactly the amount it's moving. So we'll use the end. We'll start right at the end, and then we will go, oh, but I don't like how it doesn't let you count. So what's 2.5? It doesn't really help us. I wish it would start the, oh, but I can do it this way. I can go. That's 1. So that's pretty much 1 second. That's 2 seconds. I'm confused here. Let me see this. Alright, so half a second, 1 second, 2 seconds. So it's right about here is what we want, right? And that means that I actually want to delete 5 over here. I want to delete this over here. That's our audio clip we want. Let's play it. So is that about 1, 2, 3? Yeah, that's fine. That's good enough. Export file, and I guess this is good because then we can name this fake MP3 desktop. Call this fake statue lowering effect or sound. Okay, get out of there. Bring it in here. We'll drop it in. Before we do that, we want to make sure we're in the right folder right here. Organization is key. I say that over and over and over. If you're not organized, you're gonna lose shit. And trust me, you do not want to lose stuff when you've been working on it for a long time. Why is this one oh, I must have had to convert it or something, or what is that all about? Why is there 2 of them? I don't know what's up with that, but we're not using it anymore, so it doesn't matter. And some Playmaker, animate mesh, play audio, fake statue lowering. Wah ah ah. Full, and we'll tidy up real quick because if this works, I'm going to save it out. Everything looks tidy. Get rid of that. I usually don't keep this action here, but I've been using it's when I use Playmaker, I'll stick it there, but if not, I usually just keep this flat. And because it gives us more space over here, which is, you're in these assets usually a lot more. Okay, so we're in Oasis Core, and save that real quick, and let's play it. Let's see how that sounds. Big whammy, no whammy, score. our big whammy, or I forget how that saying goes. Ooh, so creepy. There's dragonflies in this pit? Oh. So we do have to get effects of when he gets hit. Like, or like, Okay, let's go. That's pretty badass. Alright, so I'm happy with that. That's how we're going to end the stream. And we're going to add some more sound. I'm going to add some more sound effects, the other ones. And I'm going to share this with people when it's all done. Maybe I'll make it downloadable. We'll test and we'll get some stuff. But that is it, my friends. That is how you add audio to a level using Playmaker and just the audio source system within Unity. Brings a little bit of life to the game, makes it fun, and it's all part of the experience. So with that being said, I'm going to end this stream, and this is the lava room, the lava chamber. I keep on calling it a million different names. It's called the lava chamber. That's the final name. But yeah, so next stream tomorrow we're going to be focusing on a new level, and I'm excited to share that with you guys as well. So, with that being said, this is Nate Miller from DigiFX. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.